Yo, what is up guys? Back here with another YouTube video. Today we are going to be talking about the Coalossal team that I used to place top 4 in the Players Cup 3 qualifiers. By the time I post this, the broadcast should have already gone live, so you guys will obviously get to see this and kind of understand the team a bit better. So basically, I have two things for you guys today. Today we are going to be going through the actual mons individually here, and then I'll be showing you guys the rental codes that you guys can use. I'll be making sure to chapter these out so you guys know exactly when we're talking about it. So we're going to break down the team one by one at first. Dragapult. Dragapult's a pretty standard set. Its speed tier is meant to outspeed stuff like Spectre, which caps out at 200 speed, so Dragapult goes at 201 speed. Dragapult naturally can't outspeed Zacian, so max speed Adamant Zacian hits up to 200 speed anyways as well. So running 164 will outspeed any form of slow Zacian, and then you're outspeeding obviously anything at 200. The defense and HP is really important because it allows you to mostly live Behemoth Blades from Zacian. I ended up looking into an optimization of this I didn't end up using that allows you to take a bit better Behemoth Blades from Zacian, but you do lower your total HP. The HP number is specifically 228 because 228 HP allows you to get the maximum recovery from grassy terrain. You'll see a lot of the Pokemon hit the same HP stat. This is basically an optimized grassy terrain recovery. In terms of moveset, pretty standard. Breaking Swipe, Light Screen, and Will-O-Wisp support, yeah, like support. I'm dumb. I for some reason when I saw Surf, I thought like support, but I meant to say Surf and then say support. So Surf, basically, obviously you need it to proc your own coal. One error I made that I wanted to address is that you should actually min out the IVs on your Dragapult, because if they're not minned out, then you're doing more damage to yourself. Light Screen allows you to take less damage from special hits. Been super good for me the entire time of using it. Will-O-Wisp, really good for shutting down stuff like Groudon, Landers, opposing Zacian if you outspeed them, which is very helpful. Breaking Swipe, super good. You're able to actually just Breaking Swipe, slow them down, and prevent them from moving. If we look over here, Coalossal also optimized for grassy terrain recovery. You'll see the speed stat allows you to outspeed, Regieleki at pretty much +6, and like pretty much every other mon up to that point. You do underspeed Landorus at +2, and you outspeed stuff faster than that at +2, obviously. You also outspeed Thundurus at +1, so that like pretty much outspeeds everything it needs to. The reason why I didn't really value outspeeding Landorus was because outspeeding Landorus didn't really require, like, it required a bunch of EVs there that I would prefer to use to optimize the HP roll, and most of the time I wasn't putting in the position where it was going to be in front of a Landorus and Tailwind, right? So it wasn't too big of a deal there. If we look over here, Rillaboom also optimized for the HP. Nearly max attack. This basically just has a roll to one-shot Kyogre with Grassy Glide. No Bulk Kyogre. I think Bulk Kyogre even, like, it's pretty much one-shot up until, like, a certain point where it's, like, kind of ridiculous investment. Defense, not important. Special defense, it just has a number I'm comfy with, kind of is just good for damage rolls. A lot of times it actually came into play, the extra special defense, which was really nice. I was able to take some hits well. And then the speed set. The speed set is something I changed, actually, for you guys to, or something I would change, rather. I'm not sure if this is the speed set I hit before. I might have tweaked this. Yeah, I did tweak the spread. Okay, so the Rillaboom spread is the new spread that I think you guys should be using. This speed allows you to outspeed base 100s at +1 after an Airstream from Yveltal, which allows you to basically hit stuff like even Zapdos and Charizard. And while that may sound weird, getting Woodhammer chip off on stuff after they've been chipped a bunch by rocks is like really good. So it's kind of helpful. Urshifu Rapid Strike. Urshifu is really good. It's really good to give you an alternate mode that doesn't require the Coalossal as well. You get obviously Surging Strikes, and Surging Strikes in tandem with like rocks is really good. Urshifu also gives you another proc mon. It's just a very solid mon all around. Helps you snipe Incineroars, a bunch of good stuff. Yveltal is probably the one deviation I have from the typical Coalossal team. You're seeing a lot of them have Zacian. The reason why I prefer Yveltal, one, Comfort Mon. It also makes your matchup versus Calyrex Shadow a breeze. You completely body it. Also, too, Yveltal is my favorite mon, which is part of why I'm running it. But also with Yveltal, you do get a ground switch in. Obviously, you have that with Rilla, but some of the Zacian teams kind of deviate from that and are running not Rillaboom. So that's kind of the main like benefit of Yveltal. Yveltal also can swap, like gives you better Kyogre mode because you can go for Snarls and you can go for like Grassy Glides with your Rillaboom. Yveltal is like really good for Kyogre. I think the Zacian versions struggle with Kyogre a little bit, which is why I think the Yveltal versions is a little bit better in terms of like being generally good in any matchup. The Yveltal 2 is also very bulky. The Yveltal running Sucker Punch. After rocks go off and like Hole gets a bunch of damage off, Sucker Punch is really nice to clean up some kills in tandem with like Aqua Jet and Grassy Glide. So that's why I was running Sucker Punch over something like Heat Wave. In terms of the bulk, I did optimize like in the future, but I'm going to be showing this spread because I do still think this spread is fine. The one thing that I think could change about the spread is making it a little bit faster, so that speeds Zacian at +1 after an Airstream. In terms of the HP just gives you a lot of good HP so that you can take Water Spout very comfortably from Kyogre if you're put in that situation, and it hits the special attacking bump, so it can do a little bit more damage with Oblivion Wing and get some health back. The other thing that's important, and the Yveltal spread, actually, I did tweak it a little bit so that it would have more special attack, hitting one of the benchmarks that I wanted it to, just to quickly get there. The speed stat of this specific Yveltal is a little bit, a little bit slower than another set that I've used before, but I do think that this one's a pretty like good area if you're just trying to outspeed Kyogre and Landorus. Like I mentioned, you can also creep it for Zacian. Incineroar here, the Incineroar spread can definitely be better. This spread, I just went with pretty standard spread. I really wanted a lot of special defense because it actually helps versus a lot of opposing matchups. A lot of special attackers specifically is like kind of what it was aimed at. One thing that was like really nice was just being able to, snarl stuff, and then Incineroar had the chance of leveling Origin Pulse from Kyogre, and just taking Max Quakes from Venusaur really well, specifically, was like really good. And then obviously too, since you have Intimidated, it kind of like mitigates that lack of defensive investment, which is really good. Flare Blitz here, obviously able to do a lot. It's able to just use Incineroar's main stab. If you set up Sun with Coalossal, it's able to do a lot of damage, and you have Parting Shot and Taunt to play support. Taunt was huge. Taunt was really good at shutting down Trick Room. Taunt was also really good at shutting down stuff like Gastrodon. I only played one, but like I've played it like on ladder obviously and stuff before, and like it's really nice for shutting down mons that enjoy setup. And then Fake Out obviously is just your standard disruption option. What's really good about this team and what's really flexible about it is you have a lot of pivoting options. Coalossal is a good mon because it forces maxes out from people who aren't like it forces game plans that people normally wouldn't have to use, right? So for example, like if you have Coalossal on your team, your opponent kind of has to respect it and lead Coalossal, and you could just lead something completely different, preemptively assuming or like knowing what your opponent's going to lead, right? Which can put you already in a better position from turn one, and you could even keep Coalossal in back to use as a sweep. This team is very centered around like either dealing immediate offense or using your Yveltal early on to like really slow your opponent's offense, kind of slow them down, and then sweep late game with Coalossal. Also, another thing that needs to be noted, Coalossal does not need to be procced for it to be good. There were a lot of games where I used Coalossal without proc, and it was super good. You just need to position correctly with Incineroar, Rillaboom, and Yveltal, and like that's a really strong mode that you're able to use. In terms of common pairs that I would recommend, I'd recommend like Dragapult, Rillaboom, Yveltal was a really good lead for me. Incineroar Yveltal is good in the stuff like Calyrex Shadow, as long as they don't have Thunderous. Urshifu Yveltal is one as well, because you can go for like Airstreams and like Surging Strikes, which is really nice. And also, one lead that I actually used quite a decent bit against Calyrex Shadow, like on ladder and then like practice, was actually Yveltal and Coalossal. Yveltal Coalossal allows you to set rocks early, and if they lead something that's like really, really bad for your cold, then you can just kind of like snipe it with Coalossal, like if the Calyrex is Max Quake, for example. Yeah, and the main thing that you saw, like if you guys look at my stream game versus Marco Martinez or Mars VGC, obviously I was a game up on him because of a team sheet error he had, but you would see that I didn't bring my Proccers because he had a Gastrodon, and that's just like a perfect example of like when you don't want to bring your Proccers just because like it looks correct, or like you think that you need to proc the Cole. Cole is all about getting chip damage down really early and doing that, so yeah. And then if we go over here and we look over here, this is the rental code over here. The rental code basically able to allow you guys to use this team. It has a pretty much updated version of everything. The Rillaboom is actually the old spread on this version, so you guys are going to change that around. You have to change it around if you want to use a different version. But yeah, so that's like the main thing there. Here's the rental code, and thank you again, guys, for all the support. Especially with my run. My run was like obviously like kind of crazy. If you guys can't tell, by the way, like normally I have a bit of different setup for team reports, but this is something I realized like may be nice for you guys and you guys would appreciate, considering it's like right after the broadcast. And obviously on the YouTube, been a bit busy because of everything going on. So yeah, like here's the team, guys. Thank you again for all the support. Super appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And keep an eye out for more YouTube content. We will be putting out Videos probably twice a week is what I'm aiming for now, because obviously I'm a little bit busier, full-time streaming, all that stuff. And if you guys are interested in seeing me play this team and other teams, make sure to check out my channel at twitch.tv/joeux9. Thank you guys again, and catch you guys in the next video. Peace.